This is the book of this is the book of Romans, chapter 15. Point is verse 4, and it says, "For whatever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of scriptures might have hope." This is the book of Second Ezra. I'll start at verse 8. I'm gonna start at chapter 8, verse 62. "These things have I shown not unto all men, but unto thee and a few like thee. Then answered I and said, Behold, O Lord Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, now hast thou showed me the multitude of the wonders which thou wilt begin to do in the last times, but at what time thou hast not showed me." Verse 9, "He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, things that are being seen right now." Verse 4, "Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest." I'm going to start off by giving all praises, all honor, and all glory to God, Loyam, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachak, double honors to the apostles and to the elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutation to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwath and the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord, willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you, I say Shalom. It's the brother Yahweh Sab out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant, coming at you with another lesson through the spirit and through the power of Yahweh Shem Shai. Basically, came across this article, well, the information from a brother that put in a group chat, but come to find out, I'm sure a number of brothers have done a video on it, and I know brothers like to bring out information that is news breaking. That's why sometimes brothers save articles to themselves. But at the same time, I also believe, brothers, there's nothing wrong with bringing out an article that because if the spirit inspires you to do so, you got to remember different brothers deal with different or have different subscribers to their pages, and they might not be familiar with um, certain brothers. I notice a lot of my subscribers, they're doing videos, but they're new to the truth to a degree. So that being said, I know the brother Arawan from the Men of Valor camp. He did a video about this, but basically, it's a sign of the times, and that's why I started with the second. Well, I started with the Romans about the things written before time were written for our learning, because the scriptures is a book of prophecies. And those prophecies, them signs, those tokens, are the prophecies being coming to pass. And the scriptures talk about you know scriptures talk about scriptures talk about a system being put in place where everything will actually be done digitally. When it goes in a cashless society. In fact, let me look that up real quick just to prove a point. Because when you go into cashless society, a cashless society is a society which functions. That ain't what I wanted. Salakia. Um, it talks about a society where money. It says cashless. That ain't what I wanted. Okay, so it says cashless society, and you see they're using credit cards, phones, and watches, smart devices to pay. It says a cashless society describes an economic state whereby financial transactions are not conducted with money in the form of physical banknotes or physical currency or coins, but rather through the transfer of digital information between the transacting parties. And when you go into this internet of bodies, this internet of things, they're making you basically the product. You know, and that's what this current beat system is. was talking about that guy. What is his name? JWTV. You know, he brings out a lot of useful information. He was going into how you know they had where they were releasing these gases in the New York area, and you know how like it had to do with like some kind of digital barcodes, and you know what I mean. Like at the end of the day, we are in them times, you know, brothers and sisters, to the Aqua and the Akim, you know, to the Akim and to the Aqua, you know, we living in them times where you know prophecy is speaking off the pages, and so you know when you listen to the definition of cashless society and then look at this article, it basically goes into basically Biden did a Biden issues a long-awaited U.S. executive order on crypto. Federal agencies will evaluate their approach and six key priorities within the digital asset sector. This was dated March 9th, 2022. And you know, through the spirit, I got a feeling that something is going to jay off. You know, I remember the Elder Malcolm made mention of this. He said he could see it happening by the summertime. You know, just chaos really ensuing. And through the spirit, I can agree with him. Also, due to the fact I look at this 2022, and you know when you add those two, that's a six. You know, and with this devil pushing all this six, you know, I mean, now I could be wrong. I'm speaking as a man, you know, but at the same time, you know, the Elder Malcolm, me myself, we're not the only, you know, men that are, follow this truth that literally feel this way. You know, I got a lot of Akim, you know, that feel this way and are hoping for it. You know, because you know, like I said again, the saints are tired. You know what I mean? Scriptures talk about how you know this devil's going to wear out the saints. It says so. It says the takeaway: U.S. President Joe Biden signed a first of its kind executive order on cryptocurrencies on Wednesday, directing federal agencies to coordinate their approach to the sector. The executive order does not lay out specific positions the administration wants agencies to adopt or impose new regulations on the sector. One part of the order will direct the Treasury Department to create a report of the future of money, including how the current financial system might not meet consumer needs. And then when you go into, like I said, that CARES Act and then them stimulus packages, it literally had paperwork and documentation talking about it had terminology talking about digital dollars and whatnot. Then you hear about all this talk about CBDCs, you know, central bank digital currencies, and you know, so while you got people that sit up there and they labeled us and deemed us conspiracy theorists, you know, a conspiracy is something that can be proven. But you know, things that we've said, you know, I mean, first and foremost, our elder apostles, and then now, you know, the men on the highways and hedges bringing out this truth. We've said is coming to pass. You know, just like I mean, but these people, I can see, you know, it's just it's amazing to me because you know and that's the scary thing in the power of the Lord because you know, like at the end of the day, you really have to be bugged out not to see, even if you're not really like a spiritual person, but I mean, just to see how life has changed, or you know, like it's a whole vibration going where you just waiting for the shoe to drop. Like you should be. I mean, like you had a state of war. You know, price of food going up. Its gas is ridiculous. You know, nobody's asking the cause of none of this or wondering why all this at right now. You know, it says the whole government effort to regulate the crypto industry focuses on consumer protection, financial stability, illicit uses, leadership in global financial sector, financial inclusion, and responsible innovation, according to a fact sheet accompanying the order. So, because it came with a fact sheet and because these things was named, this is the whole effort to regulate the crypto industry. That got to be true because that's what this says on this fact sheet. When in actuality, like this would be the worst system to ever have in place because you would absolutely be at the mercies of these fucking people that control it. You know, when you go into that interview with Aaron Russo and Alex Jones, and when he was talking about he met Nick Rockefeller and yada yada yada, he basically divulged the plans of you know these elite bankers, and basically you know he said if the people wasn't complying, they would just turn off their chip. You know, you know, their potato chip. Yeah, trying to look for the future. The future of money. It says the future of money because I'm not going to read this whole thing. It says part of the order directs the U.S. Treasury Department to draft a report on the future of money and payment systems, according to a fact sheet. The interagency report will analyze cryptocurrencies' impact on economic and financial growth, financial inclusions, national security, and extent to which technological innovation may influence the future. That future. And this is all fluff and bullshit because at the end of the day, In a statement originally published and later removed on Tuesday night, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said the report. And this bitch got to be a wicked ass woman because this bitch then left the position, came back to the same position. Like, how? You know what I mean? This bitch, she probably turned into, her wings probably come out at night type shit. You know what I mean? She probably drinking the blood for real. Will complement the Treasury's Department's existing efforts to analyze the cryptocurrency sector. The thing is this, they're not, this is not on a chopping, this is what their plan is. Why do you think they're putting all this smart technology into use? You got actual robotic systems that's, come on, what was that last year? New York City actually unleashed and unveiled the robotic dogs. Now they're pushing them on the border. Why do you think that is? That's not just to keep people out. A wall keeps people out, but it also keeps people in. And they not really the digital dollar. The executive order will also ask agencies to evaluate how the U.S. can issue a central bank digital currency. But like I said before, in that stimulus package, they talked about a digital currency. And now you're hearing all this talk about CBDCs, where we all will have a digital wallet and a digital ID. You know what I mean? Now, like, I got caught up in that whole thing with the IRS that you had to put your facial and iris scan and have your face or your picture uploaded in a system. You know what I mean? And I heard that they put it on the back burner because I guess they worried about moving too fast. That's why they do things in gradualism, because in order to change. Everybody doesn't adjust to change well. So the spring change on a group of people a majority of people that's more, when the majority can overpower the minority that's in power, why would they, just harshly put it on you? Gradualism is the best step to use in change and enacting change because everybody doesn't want change. You know what I mean? I'm one of the people that, not solely, but, wholeheartedly believes that a lot of the technology has dumbed down the people, which you can currently see. I remember growing up, we didn't have all these smartphones and shit like that. And now you see how stupid and slow people are because, people can't remember anything. People, don't take time to memorize anything. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's refreshing to see a Renaissance man that still works out and still, he works and works on his body and his mind and you know what I mean? Like, because, look at the society nowadays. You got people just stuck in just trying to, chase money. And now just imagine when you living in a society like that movie Time with Justin Timberlake, Says in this, the order ties in the Federal Reserve's ongoing effort to study digital dollar issuance. Branches of the central bank have published multiple reports in recent months evaluating both the policy and technological questions that must be answered before a central bank digital currency can be issued. More than 100 countries are already looking into CBDCs. But the thing is this, and because like I said, this is a lot of fluff. You know what I mean? Like they're making it seem like they're just like checking into this. When you have countries that are already went ahead and basically transitioned to this. I think it's a couple of different countries. I think Brazil is one of them that actually transitioned over to digital currencies. I think they operate in Bitcoin, which is legal tender there. I think Jamaica is one as well. I think it's Brazil though, because I did a video on one of the countries, and that's the plan of these elites to be basically for the whole world to be in this central bank digital currency system. Along with these countries like Russia and China and all that. China's developing their digital yuan and all that. Russia was trying to develop their digital ruble. So at the end, they're creating a system, where everything will be digitalized. I mean, including your money. So with that being said, this is no real point. I mean, continuing with the article, like I say, at the end of the day, them just actually saying that he's signing executive orders in regards to them literally checking into it, but you don't know what he really signed. You get what I'm saying? They're just telling you that. You know what I mean? Like these devils will pass a law and then take it away, make it seem like they took it away just in order to get it on the books or whatnot. And then, you know what I mean? Like when they try to pass that law to detain individuals in New York. Then, they shot it down in New York, so they went to try to pass it in Washington. At the end of the day, they're creating a system that if you're not a part of this system, you will be considered an enemy to this system. So, and that system will be, the beast system, And although they come in with fluff where they're making it seem like, which I'm gonna start with that, because the lamb speaking softly, but then it was a great dragon. That's this devil, you know. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Who was that devil that led people into captivity? This red Hebrew Edomite, so-called white man, Esau Edom. He who was killed our forefathers and different nations with the sword. He must be killed with the sword because everything is a balance. That's what it talks about in the scriptures: an eye for an eye. That's true justice. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints, and we believe and wholeheartedly hope and believe in that. Verse 11: and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth. That beast is an empire. And he had two horns like a lamb because he spoke softly, coming with a democracy. And he had two horns like a lamb, which a lamb is peaceful, is gentle. So this democracy comes across as, like how the pilgrims came across, like they was coming in peace. But then what did they do? They spake as a dragon, or they moved as a dragon when they actually turned on Gad and when you got Thanksgiving Day, you know. But then they show you how this place is based and founded on lies because, like I said, for years you thinking that this literally was actually like peaceful. They sat down and had a dinner with the people that was already living here, the Gadites, the Israelites, and come to find out that was really actually a slaughter. This is America's history, and that's how through the Spirit I feel this is the end because all this is coming out. It talks about at the end it shall speak and not lie. Of course, it's talking about the prophecies, but all this devil's being exposed. It talk about in what's that, Isaiah chapter 47, about how her nakedness shall be revealed. This devil is being revealed for the wicked ass place that he is. He had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, and he exercised all the power of the first beast, which was ancient Rome, and causeth the earth them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed, which meaning the Roman system. Because basically we're living in a revised Roman Empire. Verse 13, and he doth great wonders, which is, the wonders is his technology. The internet is a technology that's great wonders. And although it was a Jake that actually created that, Esau Edom is the one that utilizes it. It's when you think of internet, you think of Bill Gates of hell and, these devils, you know what I mean? Yeah, because it's an Edomite face behind it. But it was really a Jake because it tells you that in the scriptures that Jake is the former of all things, so that he make a fire come down from heaven on the earth and in the sight of men. It was his missiles and with his weaponry, and he deceived them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. Because even with the CV-19, that jab thing, you know what I mean? You have people literally believe and trust in Egypt, go down to Egypt for help, and look at them now. You have a number of people that died from this thing. The elder Malcolm was, he posts different posts, and he was showing, you had people that coming out talking about that died from taking this stuff, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live. Verse 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak. Because he had power to bring this this system into fruition, because it's the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Because ultimately, this is the will. This is Yahweh Shem Yahushua. It's everything's a balance. It's a mark of exemption and it's a mark of judgment. You know what I mean? Balance. That's how it's really ultimately the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Verse 16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. But you can get it in, no matter, it could be in your left hand or it could be in your butt cheek. If you get this thing inserted in you, because you got people with multiple chips. So they judgment they probably gonna get hit with, they fire, the fire when they get hit with that ICBM is probably gonna be 50,000 times more intense. I can't explain that. I know it doesn't matter where you put it at, but you have, when you go into literally one of the creators of this technology, basically you know, because you had a guy that actually, I forgot what his name was. I did a video on him in the past, and I don't feel like looking him up. But basically, he's an Edomite, and he basically created it. The Lord put it on the spirit to create it, and then basically he came to the understanding that what it was, and he became a pastor. Like, I guess his life mission was to make people recognize what this was, you know. And he said basically the technology works best because I guess the way the technology, your right hand gets hotter or something like that, or your forehead where they would put it, those places on the body retain heat better, or in their forehead. But I mean, you got people that got multiple, those RFIDs. Verse 17, and the point, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had that mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And that mark is that charagma, which is some incision, a cutting, to insert, that palisade, that that stake, that RFID, And if you a so-called black man, Hispanic man, Native American man, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, you're an Israelite, and you are not to take that, or you will be caught up in the second death. So if you are so-called black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, or you will be destroyed. And with that, Lord willingly, this was edifying. I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to call the lawyer, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Yahushua. Double honors to the apostles and to the elders of the great millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Aquat and the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this was edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of the other nations, appearing like the other nations, but who subscribe to this truth. To you, I say shalom. Until next time, I'm able to come with another lesson. Shalom. And, we almost at them times. We almost out of here. Lord willingly, it's this year. And with that, shalom, shalom, mawathlapabah, shalom.